Hello, how's it going? My name is JDTwoSixTwo and welcome to another Create video. So this is all trying to beat boredom. It's different ways to try and beat boredom. Today we're going to be creating something, which is episode 7. A lot of creating with stuff we've done, but we're going to be making a treasure map. So expect lots of references to all my channel lore. To make this yourself, you will need paper, a pencil, a tea bag that's been used, and some fire, although that's optional. Step 1, cover the paper with the tea bag and leave to dry. Right, okay, so this is quite you got to be careful because the tea bag is usually hot, and if you leave it to cool down, it doesn't actually work very well. I tried to do that first and it didn't work at all. So what I did is I did it fresh from the cup of tea. It was very hot. You can see I've sort of burned my hand a little bit. But you just simply paint the paper with the tea bag. It's pretty simple as that. You can also notice sometimes if you rub too hard, the tea leaves get out and it starts to get all gritty on the ping. So you see, I also try and squeeze some of the juice out as well. And then I sort of dab it with the paper as well, just to get it off, just to make it look more, more old and parchmenty. Of course, when it dries, it does sort of get darker as well, so that's always a good side. And then you just need to let it dry. I left it for about an hour, and it still wasn't quite dry. It was nearly there, but not quite, so I used a hairdryer to speed it up a little bit because I was pressed for time. Step 2, burn the edges of the map to make it look more old. This is optional because it's dangerous. I expect if you're young, I'd expect you to find someone older than you and more responsible, I would hope, to actually help you with this one because it's quite dangerous. I burnt my thumb when I was doing it, and it hurt. That's all I can say. But yeah, it was quite hard to do as well because it was quite dark at the time, so sorry about the darkness. The light outside was playing silly buggers as well, so it was quite hard to actually get the lighting right. But I was thinking it was going to go quite cool if I set fire to it so you can see it, like just the fire burning the edges. But it didn't really work out very well because the wind was also up, and it was blowing out my fire, so I couldn't actually do it. But hey, that's what I get for doing this in January, I suppose. But no, it worked out right in the end. Sometimes it does look a lot better than this. But you can see my sort of finished product here, and it's got around the edges I tried to go down, and then I also tried to burn a hole in the middle which looked too much like a hole. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something that didn't look quite like a hole, but it did look an awful lot like a hole, which doesn't really make sense. But it didn't look the way I looked at it in my head, if that makes sense. Step 3, it's time to create the actual design of the map. You can see, like I said, there's going to be lots of references to my channel lore, so expect a lot of that. Obviously, From Dust helped, because I made loads of villages in that, so I just used the names of the villages there and, added a few things on the map as well, just to sort of plan it out. And finally, step 4, this is the last step, and it's also another optional one, is to actually crinkle up the paper, sort of scrunch it all up, and then very carefully unfold it. This is another one which is optional to do it. It makes it look a little more old, but it's questionable whether it looks better or not. It's up to you to decide. But I did it anyway, just so you can see what it looooks like. It turned out alright. I did flatten it out after as well, but it's still got the crinkled lines in it as well. And that is one treasure map completed. Yes, I used to do this all the time as a kid. Like I got some envelopes, I unfolded the envelopes, I did it with the envelope, with the tea bag, and then folded the envelope back in again, so it actually looked like an old envelope, which was quite cool. I did it with all sizes of different bits of paper, but yeah, I always used to do this all the time. So if you look at my map, it's called Twin Tree Islands Lost Treasure. You start on the Milky Brew, you sort of dock at Coaster Bay, and then you go and see the channel, the headquarters. And then you go around, you can see the Tommy Tower, you go past the Frog King's evil lair, the Bird Faction HQ, then you sort of go into the forest by the lake and there's Rivers Hill, and there's Purple Cookies Gingerbread House, Twin Tree Village, and then we go to the Concealed Crater, and finally we find the hidden treasure sort of in between Twin Tree Village and the Concealed Crater. Yeah. But this is just one way to do it. I'm sure there's other ways to do this. I'm not sure what other ways there are to do this, but if there are, let me know what it is. For example, I've got some ideas you could try as well if you've got all the stuff that you need. You could probably try and put it in a bottle, so it's like a message in a bottle sort of thing, like a treasure map in a bottle. Or if you've got some ribbon, you can sort of roll it up and then tie it up with a nice little ribbon. I've done that. I've got a bit of felt, which I've got a little strip of felt, which I've tied it up with, so it looks more old and professional and more like a mysterious map. And you could, of course, also colour in the pictures as well, but I think that ruins the fact that you made it look like an old piece of parchment. But maybe a bit of colour would have been alright. So if you've done this yourself, please send me some pictures and anything else, videos or clips, or just a comment about how yours turned out and what you did with yours differently, and if you liked yours or whatever you've done with it, just let me know. It'll be great to hear from you. But yeah, that is one way to beat boredom. That is it now. That is another creating video done. So I shall say thank you for watching and goodbye.
Bye.